Playing against Kentucky they're awesome, as you all know. They're a very, very good team. Going into it, we just said our athletes need to go for it. As long as they go for it and don't back down, that's the only chance that we would have to be able to play against Kentucky, and I think we did that. And Kentucky's great, so I mean, I'm not upset about that. I think our girls did wonderful, did a great job, good job. So that's all I have to say.
Now we'll take questions for the student athletes.
You guys want to expand on Kentucky? Obviously, the size is something that if you look at the size of your team, just talk about that and how you guys were able to try to combat that. Rachel, you want to start?
Well, what we talked about before this game was kind of like Coach said, we just had to go for it. Obviously, they're bigger than us. Their block is bigger than the block that we practice against, so we knew we just had to go for it, and we were going to get touches, and they were going to get their blocks, but we just had to keep going.
We also talked about, like, yeah, they're tall, but we have a lot of athleticism, and so what our game plan was to use that to our advantage and play everything that we could, and like she said, just go for it, and the outcome was going to be the outcome, and I think we hung on really well today.
Yeah. I think our biggest thing for us, we try not to play scared. We don't play scared. We've seen bigger teams. Our conference, obviously, it's not the biggest, but we're pretty small in our conference still. So we just remain aggressive. We also work on serving tough and everything like that, doing the things that we can do to help our team out because we know there's a size disadvantage.
You all played the same team in the spring. Do you notice anything that's maybe really changed since then? Anything that threw at you? Was this pretty much the same team that you all met in the spring?
Other than a couple new girls that we hadn't really seen before, I think we pretty much expected what we played. But like I said, the people we hadn't seen before, obviously we didn't know how they played. But other than that, I think my expectations were pretty neutral.
I think our team, when we found out who we were playing, immediately went back to, oh my gosh, we played them in the spring. Me personally, I didn't remember. And that's the way kind of we're trained. Like we played them in spring, but what we did in spring didn't matter. So I honestly had no opinion of them. I didn't feel any way. I do think they're great, but it's not like I was afraid or intimidated coming into this.
Right, exactly. The team we were in spring was completely different than who we are now, so we had to expect the same for Kentucky. They had new players, they had played, games and they had grown over the season, so we couldn't expect them to be the same as they were in spring.
Any more questions for the student athletes? I'll ask you to stay for questions, and y'all are excused.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can I take
French?
Oh, I'll take those.
You saw.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
The first set, were you guys were you aiming to hit at Brooke Morgan as much as you did because it looked like that was your plan? Or did it just work out that way?
It just worked out that way, I will be honest. We were just trying, we were just going for it. That wasn't on the game plan.
Were you surprised with how well she handled all the balls? She had a career high 4 digs in 1 rally, which is pretty decent. Yeah, and I've kind of expected that. They're great, so of course they're going to dig the girls. So I thought she did great and everybody else, but we really didn't talk. When we talk, it's always about what we can do as opposed to worrying about the other team. We really honestly didn't talk much about Kentucky. Not in a bad, I'm just saying we just stick with our team and go for it, and then that's all we kind of do. Craig talked about how well you guys passed. Did you think you guys passed pretty well tonight?
For the most part, we did a good job, yeah. I mean, from what we usually see, that's probably about what they usually do. So they did a good job in this kind of atmosphere. I thought they really did a nice job. So.
Coach Skinner talked about how hard it is to play against your system, particularly because how high you all set the ball. Is that your game plan going into every match, and how does that bother opponents?
Our game plan, just my big thing is I want our girls to be able to try to get a swing on every ball.
So sometimes when we try to do too fast and everybody tries to do too fast, you start rolling and doing things. And I just want our athletes to be able to use their athletic ability and hit hard and jump high and go for it all the time. So, you know, I do that that's kind of our whole philosophy all year long. We don't do too fast ever. So.